Good afternoon, blockchain experts and enthusiasts. My name is Alena Zaleska. I am director at WeTel Blockchain Center, and it's my pleasure to welcome you on our next episode of Blockchain Coffee Talk Show. Last Friday, we tried to investigate operational and investment risks in open finance, DeFi, and crypto markets, tried to prevent the user experience issues, and today we are going to dive more deep into Web3 and financial future. And it's my pleasure to introduce our today's experts, Pekka Kelka, blockchain and crypto advisor, and Ahmed Osman, Hotcoin Global VP Marketing Manager. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me today.
Pleasure.
I would like that you introduce yourself, tell a few words about your area of expertise.
Thanks, Aliona. First of all, I've been online since '94, but my last 6.5 years full-time blockchain cryptos, different projects, different roles in the projects, from CEO to sales to business development. But last 2.5 years, projects start to ask me to join them as an advisor, and quite soon I ended up to be a full-time advisor for several projects. My projects are from Argentina to US to UK, Europe, and here.
All right, thank you, Pekka. Osman, yes.
Thanks, Aliona. Thanks, WeTel TV, for joining us today. I have been in blockchain industry in general for the last 5 years. 2017, a bit late. Been working in marketing and managing for quite like 15, 16 years, different fields, focusing for the last 5 years for the blockchain technology and the marketing for the projects and exchange and so on.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your introduction. And I think that we can start with the questions. And nowadays we are more like trying to educate people with the theory behind of blockchain technology itself. Okay, we can finally understand that this is the technology. It's different from just crypto. There is NFT, there is metaverse, Web3. We are good with theory, but in practice, how for the companies, how for the all different industries, we can use this technology? Because we are saying that blockchain technology is universal and we can apply it to the all areas of business. But how in reality blockchain technology is enabling the businesses? What are the use cases? And especially you, Pekka, you mentioned that you work with the projects all over the globe. So tell us more about that and like the practical use cases.
Well, maybe the question was first that how companies can and organizations can benefit of blockchain. First of all, it's a little bit confusing when it comes to blockchain word itself, because actually the blockchain doesn't work without the digital asset on the top of the blockchain, which means that we can also, and some people are using a little bit wrong way the blockchain word, because they explain that also private chains, which is just a distributed ledger between the nodes, and they are controlled, and so they are not decentralized. And the full idea of blockchain is decentralization. And to be decentralized, if a network will be decentralized, it means that it's not controlled by anybody. So it's permissionless. Anybody can join the blockchain according to the code which is written on the application, which name is smart contract. And if you fulfill those terms, you can join them freely. And that's also an opportunity and a little bit challenging for the companies, and also because regulations are in the picture. This may be a little bit long answer, but that's maybe the basic understanding is to start from there, that blockchain is permissionless, is trustless, is portaless, and the data is immutable on the blockchain. And if you understand this much, then you also understand that private chains are never blockchains.
All right. Yes.
Yeah, I can't agree anymore. Plus, I do believe that the usage of blockchain in a recent life will take us to be used in each and every industry. If you talk about finance, if you talk about logistics, if you talk about many uses daily cases that for the blockchain technology, as it provides the decentralizations and the safety, secure, anti-hack and so on.
Yes, but what are the use cases? Like, can you mention like few of the companies that approached you and okay, they said we want to use blockchain technology. Like how to apply it? Like what's next? Okay, like
Right.
I'm coming to you and what's next? What should I do?
First of all, it depends on the business itself, and the approach from different business sectors can be very different. But I believe that if we go like the latest what has happened there, quite many and different sector companies have approached me to understand more about the opportunities when it comes to NFTs and metaverses. And metaverses is so complicated. I want to start with NFTs if you don't mind.
Oh, sure.
Because the NFTs is also the non-fungible token, which means it's a technology that finally allows people to have a clear ownership of digital asset on the network online. Again, a little bit complicated when it comes to technology behind it, but if you think it this way, that you own something digital, which is a format of anything, a document, and you have clear ownership, which is written on the code again, immutable code, then it gives you a lot of ideas what can you implement on blockchain. NFTs and tokenization is getting so interesting in many companies. I just, by the way, read very recently that Disney is now tokenizing everything they have, which means that it's like about $200 billion worth of assets now, a company market cap. And if they tokenize everything they have, all the characters and everything they have, maybe I don't know how many X's the valuation of just Disney will come. And then different industries. Actually, we talked just a few minutes ago about the ticketing systems, which makes a lot of sense to have this kind of clarity, the ownership of the ticket when it's like one unit that you own when you pay it. No scammers, you cannot copy it. It's a huge business that's coming up from that side. But let's put it this way. Earlier days of internet, nobody believed in internet and nobody could see that there's any opportunity also on internet. The same thing now with the blockchain. All the businesses and everybody will be using the blockchain the same way, but more sophisticated way, and the more decentralized way, which is a better financial system than internet is, because it is decentralized.
Absolutely correct. Yes, Ahmed would like to.
Yes, I'm adding the usage of blockchain technology now in what is back in our daily life. Recently, even for the last 10 days a week, Google started to adopt the clouding, which is the heart of the data that we are living in. So when it comes to companies like Google to start on the track, means a bigger services or a bigger company sales is going to follow sooner, which will make life in a different way easier. The country where we are now, this beautiful city Dubai, now they are adopting blockchain in our daily life in many ways. Now you could use your phone through the blockchain asset, digital asset, buy your own stuff, travel, buy tickets, hotels, or even pay government fees. So as long as it goes, the adoption of the blockchain make lives easier.
That's true, and it's like that you correctly said that UAE is one of the leading countries to implement that. But I guess, and we discussed it earlier as well, that people are scared to enter the blockchain ecosystem because there are a lot of scammers. So they don't know like there is no particular instruction, there is no particular guidance. And that's why I agree with you that when you mentioned when the big companies, when we'll see the move from the big companies, that's where maybe the trust will come as well. But still it will take a lot of time. And you was mentioning about NFTs, Becca, and I will jump to the topic of the Web3 marketing. Interesting what I've heard. First of all, Web3 marketing. We didn't talk enough of Web2 marketing. Like, have you heard, like, who was talking that much of Web2 marketing? Now we are talking about Web3. No, so there was no, like, smooth transition, and still, like, digital marketing, which is Web2 for many people, kind of unknown. They don't know how to use that algorithm. And we are already jumping to Web3, which will exclude the the intermediaries. So the data will not belong anymore to the companies and the platforms. So we're going to owe this data. So how the marketing is going to be changed? Because coming back to the topic of NFTs, one of the theories that in the Web3 marketing, we will use a lot of NFTs, like with the customers as well. But the problem is, in order to create NFTs, not something that you go now online and everybody can do it in a few minutes. So it's not that easy process at the moment. So coming back to the topic of Web3 marketing, what it is right now and how we can learn more about it, which tools we will need to use in Web3 marketing.
So marketing of any product or service is to make sure that my product or service has got the right client for it. In Web2 marketing, our data have been the asset, but many companies buying these data companies, then we got our data in a shape or in a way of a service of a product through a third companies, which make it very unsecure. So Web3 marketing, I believe it's the opportunity for the end user as for the marketing agents or companies to make sure that they deliver the product or the service in a secure way to the right person. So as I said, the point of marketing is achieving the targets and getting the right client for your product. So Web3 market will be a chance for the content editors or the content makers that to make sure that they deliver the right message to the right customer providing services or product. Web2 now, the breach that happening for the personal informations or data 5 years ago is 782 million. This what the cost of resold data to our third parties companies like Facebook, Google. The power of controlling your own data as a user, this will be covered through the Web3 marketing. Yeah. So.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, Ahmed. Pekka, yes.
Yes, absolutely, Ahmed. You nailed it, because in the future this will be actually the case that decentralization, which means that you are controlling your data actually, and you also allow people to access you, and you give your data and your also anything that you own in digital world and digital related to your ownership, you decide what to do with, including also your personal information. And that's a profile that you can let people to advertise to you if you want. That's the future. Yes. But the question was that what's the Web3 marketing today? There's not such thing that Web3 marketing, because all the platforms that are related to Web3 projects, when they start, for example, they use Discord and these whatever platforms they are still Web2 platforms.
All right.
So it's a hybrid model what we have. But the most important thing, the biggest successes on Web3 world today, if there's such a world, is today by those companies that are crypto, blockchain, NFT, metaverse companies on Web3, going towards the Web3, they have managed to build the communities. And the bigger and the more committed community, the more successful the project is. It's a numbers game and also the quality game, because you need to give something to the community to stay with you and also grow bigger. And it's a word of mouth thing, as always also use the Web2 tools for that.
So what will be the tools, like what the marketing agencies have to do this switch, what they're gonna do? Because yes, it's correct. They have the database, which they collected from the different platforms, which we're not owing, and they're using it in order us to send the newsletters, to notification, promotion, trying to sell us something. So but we still need the marketing. So if you have the product, you want to promote it, make it worldwide known, you still need to use the marketing agencies. So if we don't have the digital marketing, so what can be these magic tools in order to sell your products on the internet?
I believe Web3 will be still a combination between Web 1 and 2 in a way, or extension of Web 2 at least for the recent time. So the need of using Web 2 tools will take time to be used until tomorrow new tools will show up that will make marketing on Web 3 more easier in a way. But recently, for now, maybe the DAPP, so they will be the start of using the Web 3. But until now, it will take a bit time. It's the revolution start for the Web 3. There is some projects that for the storage of the data, like file coins or some assets like this, which will help for the things on the shorter terms, hopefully.
The future, I believe, is again based on the fact that the users of these decentralized Web3 platforms, metaverses, NFT marketplaces are not the ones that we have today because they are centralized. But everything that is decentralized, there are people using them because they like the services, they're committed to this, that community is the king again, also on Web3.
Yes,
but the only thing is that these big IT dinosaurs, they don't have access to this community. It is the platform who controls it, and platform again is not controlled by anybody. And that's why it's lovely thought that the biggest, most advanced, most attractive platforms get the biggest user base. And that's the great idea also to understand for the advertisers. So there's no these middlemen cutting out their prices and their money.
Exactly.
They direct access to these people who they want to advertise to. And that's the beautiful future what we also have on the marketing side of it.
Absolutely, and the beauty is that we are owning our own data. It's like number one priority, right. Especially nowadays. Like, yes, when we don't know who is owning like our information, our data, and like you don't feel secured. And when you have this system that okay, I'm the owner, like it sounds incredible, and it's our reality that we are trying to learn more about it. But also continue the topic of the Web3. Absolutely, there will be new jobs are coming. So in the terms of the future Web3 recruitment, like what are the opportunities and challenges are coming to that? Can you tell us, Becca? What do you think?
I believe that first of all, the Web3 will affect each and every aspect of life. Also education, also the job markets. If you come to the education itself, education is going already today in Web 2 world more the fragmented type of thing, shorter courses, more specific courses, and then also this kind of certificate is so much related to again the opportunities on the Web 3 because now there are so many scammers putting their own fake certificates online and try to get the job and whatever they want to do with it. Now, when we are Web 3, again, it's a immutable document which is secured. And we can trust the document because it is on blockchain. Because
and you can never change it. It will be there forever.
It is immutable. It's immutable.
Yes.
So that's the future also when it comes to job markets.
Yeah. The way the recruiting is going now, it's still have a few years while you go. If you apply for a job, for example, you will need to apply to go through a few interviews. 1 or 2, 3 interviews, then CV checking, certificates and everything. I believe the blockchain solve a life problem in different ways. When everything will be transparent, secure, everyone on chain, everyone could check on it, this will give a valuable credibility to the informations. So the process of recruiting maybe in the future will not take even more than a minute to check everything that everyone for the job he applied for, and even for the HR manager as a decision maker on job hiring, things will take a shorter time, saving time and making more credibility for the inspections of certificates or checking your reference where you work. This is why the Web3 now is focusing on the place where the players play, like GitHub, like Discord. Those platforms are the best places for such opportunities.
All right. Yes, I agree on that. But coming back, to the digital identity and creating it and how the trust towards it, like Pekka, how you can comment on the trust towards creating digital identity in the decentralized space?
Yes, that is the hottest topic actually now when it comes to digital society, decentralized society, decentralized identity, and decentralized identifiers. Thousands and thousands, not just individual programmers, but thousands of teams are working on it now. And I woke up this idea when I came a few months ago on the document which is called Decentralized Society, Soul of Web3. And it's written by 3 persons, led by Vitalik Buterin, the founder co-founder of Ethereum. That's one document. Then there's another one which is a little bit competing, but this idea is the same. It's Jack Dorsey's Web5. So the whole idea is that your history, what you've done, all the credentials what you have, all the certificates you have, they will be on blockchain, which is again immutable, and that's happening already. So there are first versions of this already there, and those documents are again, surprise, surprise, they're NFTs.
No surprise.
So that's affect again so much. And these NFTs, which are they are your personal credentials, they are not tradable, they are not transactable. And the beauty of it is that because the data is with you, you control the data, and you can only show that much of your history that will be needed for this particular task.
Yes, we're talking about the positive sides, like if your certificates, your diploma, like your experience. Criminals, like, okay, like it's everybody can make the mistake. You did something wrong, you've been to prison, it's there on the blockchain forever. You can't remove it, but you learn from your lesson, like you continue life as the genuine person and do great things, great job, but it's still there. Like, you know, it's forever. Like, and many companies, if they want to hire you, they find it in your history, they will reject you. They will not look at any other credentials of yours. They will see that's in your history. You can't.
How is it today then?
Yeah.
How is it today?
It will
it's
be.
The same. It's the same, right? But then again, the fact is that you can trust this information. You cannot delete your history, and that's why it's quite a little bit interesting to understand. We all do mistakes.
Yes. So like the company will not hire this person.
But this will change the whole spectrum of having this kind of criteria of good and bad mistakes, and not mistake good things and bad things. And also, I believe that this is also this will be related to governance systems, because of course there are also mechanisms that are decentralized governance. And actually, it can be even one more letter in between. The DAO is decentralized autonomous organization, which means that there's a governance entity, and this is related to how this will develop. I'm positive that it will be more fair.
I believe if we look at blockchain in this dark way, that everything is going to be recorded about me. Mistakes happen in life. I made a mistake, that it will be on my on-chain or blockchain resume, for example. If we look for blockchain in this way, I don't believe things will work. But if we look for it in a way of transparency that it provides for A and B, this will make things shorter. Governments, of course, will find a way to deal with the decentralization of the blockchain, at the same time securing the amount of data could be shared with other government or for international A to B sites. Yeah.
Okay, yes, thank you so much. And I truly also believe that it's a great thing that's happening, like even one example is health sector. Like we're traveling a lot, especially nowadays, and you don't keep all your medical records with you. And of course, like it happens, the accident somewhere, like the doctor can just go on the system and just gets your data and all the information and save your life, because sometimes it's the matter of the minutes, not the hours, while they will try to investigate which like medicine you can take, are you allergic or not, like all day what's your history of the medical record. So it's a beautiful thing that can nowadays in the hectic life, like which will save a lot of time and save maybe lives as well. So it's very important, I guess. And like I cannot exclude the question of the cryptos, because still like the majority of people, they're trying to dive into it, understand how it works and use the crypto, but still for many people, they're afraid, as we said, because of the scammers a lot. But how the financial world looks like nowadays, like all of us needs to go to crypto, or still there will be people who will never explore that for themselves? What do you think?
Okay, so if we talk about crypto and the rumors about crypto, that the scams and everything, first of all, let's agree that there is no one can hack a decentralized blockchain. Okay, so the hack will be of a third party centralized, like the laptop you're using, the cookies that where you're saving your security keys and so on.
It's really important to understand that, first of all, it functions differently on different kind of protocols. And we're talking about consensus mechanisms, which means that, for example, Bitcoin as the mother coin, the first coin, it uses the proof of work consensus mechanism, which is the securing the transactions and validating transactions by miners who are producing these coins. But then when the biggest, what's growing the fastest now in the markets, we're calling them smart contracts platforms.
Correct.
And this coin, this token, this crypto is data on the network. So it's not just currency, as Ahmed said. We need to understand the role of this coin. It's much more than a fiat money that you go and to transfer as a value. So it provides the security. It's provided the transaction, securing the transactions in that sense, and more data there is on the network, which means that more tokens and coins you're having on these decentralized networks. This is the beautiful thing. These networks will reward you. If you deposit your tokens and coins on these smart contract platforms, they give you yield, they give you money back. And that's very important to understand, and this is the future of how we should understand these digital currencies, these cryptos. It's not just the value that you buy something and pay something. It's also the heart of this blockchain technology as such.
Yes, that's correct. But it's maybe for us easier to understand why I'm saying for us. Like when I come to my parents and tell them that it's not the money, it's technology, my mom will look at me like I'm crazy. I cannot explain to her that, like it's not the paper, it's something digital and it's just the technology. Like for them, you go to bank, you receive your salary there, you count, you pay. Okay, with the cards now, but still it's the same mind. They know that the money is on there. But to come to like older generation and tell them you have to understand it's technology, that's where like the confusion going to happen. So how we can bridge that gap and let like more people to understand that yes, it's still money, like you still can buy, you can still use it, but just in a different way. Like how to make it smooth transition for that.
What is this fiat money that we have today? It's hot air. It's not backed up with anything. And if you go to cryptos again, the most advanced, the best cryptos, they have either limited supply, which means that there's no more than a agreed number, and it never can be changed because again it's on a code. Or there are systems that are making these cryptos deflationary. Because, for example, in certain transactions, they burn some cryptos on every transaction, which means that more transactions there will be, the bigger usage of this is, your value of this coin will grow. And if you go back to your parents' example, in the future, this must be the way that we don't need to care of how difficult it is to deposit something somewhere. It must be the same way that use your online banking today, for example. But the online banking, in that sense, can be your blockchain protocol. And this, you don't need to negotiate with the bank. Everything, all the coins that exist on the blockchain protocol itself, it's on a smart contract. It's the most democratic way to pay you yield. You have millions of them, or you have 10 of them, the yield is the same. and the terms and conditions are the same. So this is the future, how I see this, that also the adoption will happen. We don't need to care about anything else.
Exactly,
it's just easy use.
yes.
Use is the key.
So we don't need to go deeply, okay, what's behind this technology, how it works, where it goes, like what's happening. It's just, yes, just use it to the our daily life easily and seamlessly, and then what will make our life easier for sure. I know we are still in 2022, almost over, but still in 2022. Jump into the future, how you see the financial future in 2030, for example.
The biggest thing, of course, is that when it comes to adoption now, there are three major things. First is user interface, and there's user experience, and then there's security. And that's what we work a lot, like every day, to make it smoother and better. And I believe that let's put it this way: we will fail if we don't manage to do it at least in the same level ease of use what we have today on the internet and internet applications. So Web3 needs to be the same. So, and then it's more secure because again, the data is decentralized and everything, what we discussed already. So that's how I see, it's not just the financial markets, it's financial services, it is on every aspect of our lives.
I believe that everything will be the same in a different way. The only difference will be just on-chain, on blockchain. The same life system, the same financial, the banks are going to be stay forever as a bank, but they will have to adopt to be on a blockchain, that to leave the centralizations that the control that they have now, to be more open and more decentralized. And I believe it in a way our payment system will be paperless, like literally paperless. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me today. It's been great and very informative discussion. And for sure, we will continue our journey into blockchain ecosystem. See you next Friday.